A phone call. Jason Statham picks up the phone.
2 minutes.
A minute later, he agrees to work on our protagonist's new film. Smash, cut. Now, you see a scene from Cash Truck. From the moment Guy saw this French drama, he knew he was going to film its remake sooner or later. Let's get back to Statham. Sooner or later is now.
Spectacular.
The director had finished The Gentleman, and Jason had happily showcased his muscles in another Fast and Furious film.
I thought that would have broke.
For the first time in 15 years, the actor and the director not only found a film that they would want to do together, but enough free time in their schedules in which to do it. Guy had looked for a serious film for them to work on purpose.
The blood, the sweat, and the tears.
This time without any esoteric themes or schizophrenia.
No! Not old French.
Just rough guys and a girl, some armored trucks, big guns, splashes of fake blood, and revenge painted in bold colors. A cocktail mixed by this duo once again.
What did you say?
I said suck my fucking dick!
Suck your own dick.
It also helps that Jason had returned to his homeland. In 2006, he had left to conquer Hollywood, bought a house in Los Angeles, and made it into the pantheon of Hollywood's action movie heroes.
Look, I hate to break up the bromance. 20 seconds late.
In 2019, he returned to London. And when you live in Guy Ritchie's town, you don't turn him down to make a movie.
Sure. Give me 2 minutes.
Jason is already getting ready for their next collaboration, and Guy calls the actor one of his best friends. He admits that they have become a lot closer than they had been when they just started making films. Though Statham probably uses the friendship as a front, so that he can finally beat Ritchie at chess one day.
On chess, he obviously loses, and has done for years. There is photographic evidence to support me on that.
This is checkmate.
No, hold on.
What do you mean, hold on?
What do you mean, hold on?
What do you mean, hold on?
That was not there, Jay.
No, it was there, Guy.
No, it wasn't there.
After The Gentleman, Miramax was glad to finance Guy's next film. However, on his journey from comedy to action thrill, the director lost a lot of colleagues. This time, the mind behind the immaculate costumes and uniforms was Stephanie Colley, who was known for the first season of Peaky Blinders, and production designer Gemma Jackson was replaced by Marty John, who had worked on the TV show The Last Kingdom. Though Ritchie did manage to keep ties with his faithful colleagues of the last decade, operator Alan Stewart and editor James Herbert. Cut. Let's transport to the set of Wrath of Man. By the way, the film got its biblical name only during the process. Guy was inspired by the wrath and ruthlessness that he saw in Statham's eyes. Jason's silent charisma lends the picture its overall tone, and yet, Guy Ritchie couldn't help but fill his cast with charming actors. His partner is played by Holt McElhenney, whose career is being bolstered these past 20 years by David Fincher. The star-studded cast was joined by Josh Hartnett, even though originally there was no part for Josh in the script.
What's that?
But Ritchie was not fazed. He wrote a new part while they were filming while continually increasing Hartnett's influence on the plot.
What do you want us to do?
You can do whatever you fucking like.
Let's turn our attention to one of the robbers.
Fucking damn it. Now listen up, fuckboy. I said throw the money in the fucking flatbed.
The cheeky hijacker was played by Post Malone, continuing the tradition of rappers acting in Ritchie's films. Guy only found out about the scope of the artist's popularity after filming was over. And the appearance of Scott Eastwood among the antagonists is not just a great choice of opponent for Statham, but an homage to the westerns of the 70s. Ritchie remade the timeless scene from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly using the son of the world's most famous cowboy. The references don't end there. The silent and impenetrable hero who takes revenge on a gang of notorious villains.
This is all very, very touching.
A repetitive musical theme is revealed in the opening credits. Even the armored trucks remind us of covered wagons crossing the empty prairies, waiting to be ambushed. Add in the final long battle sequence, and you've got a worthy western set in modern times.
You believe that?
Yeah.
Let's go back to the set, where Ritchie had chosen an unusual method to film the action scenes. Usually, every fight and stunt is prepared ahead of time by stunt coordinators and then carefully rehearsed with the actors and stunt doubles. Our hero, who had spent too much time studying martial arts and making movies with explosive battle scenes to take the usual route, this time he talked through every scene with the actors, stunt doubles, and pyrotechnicians on the day of shooting. This allowed them to avoid dance-like movements which had been over-rehearsed and add an element of realism. Moreover, after 20 years in the business, Jason Statham practically wrote the book on action acting.
You won't be joining a Formula One team anytime soon, but you'll do for this job.
All this talk of action only puts off the inevitable comparison with the original film. Despite a love for our hero's style and vision, Wrath of Man and Cash Truck are incomparable. Having left the plot trajectories and main protagonist's tragedy untouched, Ritchie took away the realism of the events. At the center of the French drama was an ordinary, unprepared person who was driven by revenge and was surrounded by similarly ordinary people. A viewer watching Cash Truck could easily put themselves in the shoes of the protagonist. But in Wrath of Man, the only person who could see himself reflected in the hero would probably be Rambo. What? On the other hand, it was a conscious decision that allowed Guy to make the story more similar to the aforementioned westerns. Which version does the public prefer? Well, only time will tell. Pretentious comments aside, now for some numbers. Wrath of Man was released in May of 2021 and made over $100 million. More than respectable for a release during a time of movie theater stagnation during the pandemic. As for the critics, it was though they had watched two different movies. Some described a boring and drawn-out unoriginal thriller in their reviews, while others praised the editing, action, and Ritchie's foray out of his comfort zone as a director. Fade out once more. The first notes of the final track play. It is time to look into the not-too-distant future.
All right.
Besides the Gentleman TV series, Guy is preparing a journey to the past for us. This time, it won't be mythical England or the Far East, but rather the German rear lines of the Second World War. The action, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, will tell of a brutal partisan special forces unit. The script is based on the true story of secret agents of Winston Churchill, and is slightly reminiscent of another popular film.
Ooh, that's a bingo!
Well, after 3 financially successful films in a row, Guy has given his critics a checkmate. All we could do is watch, and see how he'll play the next game.
Great. Thank you.
The feeling in your bones make you feel right at home. Honey, does it well. Keep me dancing till I'm dead. 'Cause I could run a mile like this. Get over heels feels like this. The sun has got me on my track. I ain't never looking back.
Do you like our work? Let us know with your like and comment. Push that subscribe button and share with your friends. If you want to support the project financially, become our sponsor on Patreon or YouTube sponsorship. Thank you.